Like I mentioned last week, I said we'll be talking about the wedding band. Is it the smallest handcuff in the world? Like I mentioned, I popped in on a friend's WhatsApp status, and it says that the wedding band is the smallest handcuff in the world. So it got me thinking, it got me wearing my thinking cap, and I was like, what could have prompted such? And it's not the first that I've heard who holds such opinion. Oh, sorry, Becky, yes. It's not the first that holds such opinion. Like, so many people think like marriage is kind of a bond, a bondage rather than a bond. It's actually a bondage. And some people are even of the opinion that marriage should be money. It's the first time I see money on my life. Sorry, I interrupted. Welcome,
Welcome,
Imoni.
Monica. Welcome,
It's the first time
Monica.
I'm seeing you live, yeah.
Hey, Money.
Nice to have you here, Money.
Where's Money?
I think maybe a network. I sent her a request, but she's not up yet. Where is Joseph again? Joseph, this is your network. You will find rope diamond. Let me not talk too much, I beg, before my own week.
Hi, Money.
Hola, sorry for the interruption.
No problem, Money. Welcome in.
Good to see you, Money.
I waited on you yesterday morning, but I didn't see you.
No, I came in after you had already left out.
Hello, Money. Good evening.
Hey, Becky. Hey, Alex. Hey, God, I beg. Hey, Shadow. Hey, Witch Valley. Hope everybody's good.
What's up, money?
Hey, Henny.
Hello, hello to you.
We did try.
So, please, I would like to hear from all of us our opinion, what we think about this. Is it truly the smallest handcuff in the world? Thank you, Moni. I'm also my call. Why is it not reflecting? Sorry, guys, please. I'm trying to gift money. So sorry, please. While I'm doing this, someone can go ahead with their own perception about this, what they actually think about.
Can I go first, Hinex?
Yes, please, you can.
Yeah, I would say it's like that because many young couples, especially the one who get married at a very young age, they forget that it's a lot of things that you do together with friends, especially if it's the with the opposite gender. You can't always continue doing that when you're married, because it creates conflict. It creates, you know, problems, within the marriage, and they tend to forget that, that hey, once you have that wedding band and you're married, there's a lot of things from your lifestyle you will have to cut out, so that it does not bring conflict, to your marriage, And then one may feel that they're being held back too much, like as if it's handcuffs, because they think that it's no problem that I can still continue this even though we're married, but yet it does create a problem based on how the spouse sees it, looks at it, knowing where you're hanging out, who you're hanging out with, and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, from your own perception, you feel it's because of the kind of relationship they have with the opposite gender while they are still married, right? So, I
Yeah.
want to ask, is it wrong for a married person to have or be friends with the opposite gender? And if it's wrong, why? Why do you think it's wrong?
Oh, well,
Shadow, did you?
I'll go on and say it's not a matter that it's wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Is when you have outings together, or decide you want to go places together, whether it be a sporting event, whether it be a club, and so forth. If it's a lunch thing from at work, then maybe it's not so bad. But when you're talking about other activities together with the opposite gender, that creates a problem. You know.
Okay. And does anyone share a different opinion to that of Shadow of friendship? Okay. Beke says it depends on the type of friendship. So, Beke, what kind of friendship do you think a married person should have with the opposite gender? If I maybe like I am married now and I have friends at work, colleagues who before I got married we were really very close, probably good friends, like I could relate with, I could share my problems with, I could easily tell stuff and all. And now that I am married, would you advise that I just withdraw completely, even if that colleague is not willing to like withdraw yet? Not bestie kind of friends, okay? Maybe friends and not choose to limit it to just friends. Okay. So aside the friendship in marriage, is there any other issue that makes one feel like baby band is an handcuff?
Yeah, yeah. One of the reasons why it's an handcuff is because if you consider when you get married, right? It's not there are different factors that keep you in place or that tend to put you in that position of marriage, right? Such that when you think about coming out of that marriage, you have to consider these things. Number one, in-laws, right? In-laws, especially in the African setting. Sorry about the noise. Especially in the African setting, when you consider marriage, you have to consider that you are wedding, you are joining your family with another family. So the new family becomes yours. So in a way, that those are like those factors tend to they are not necessarily obstacles in a way, but it's when you think about the ability to live in that sense, right? It becomes much difficult because you have to contend with or take the other family into consideration and take your family into consideration as well. Then number two, aside the family, number two, you're talking about the government, right? Immediately when you get married, it has to be official. You sign an official document of alliance or union with another person. So one way or the other, the government is involved in your business already. So when you're thinking of a divorce, you have to formally make the government is involved. If it involves the sharing of property, if you are wealthy, you have to discuss. The government has to intervene in how much you split that property, you know. And there are factors that tend to look as if they are putting you or they are keeping you inside that institution, you know. So in a way, it's there are layers that bind you into that relationship. So it's when you're thinking of handcuffs, it's hard to come out of handcuffs, right? It's not easy. It's not the easiest thing to do, coming out of handcuffs. So if you consider the layers of family, you're married to a new family, then layers of government involvement, then maybe just on the sides, on the fringes, maybe people or friends and family friends visit. If you consider involvement of friends too, those are fringe layers as well. So in a way, if you consider it as anchors, right, those are layers that put you into that state or keep you in marriage, right? They make it easier. They make it less easier to come out of that relationship or that union, right? And these are not necessarily obstacles if you are in a loving and a rewarding marriage relationship, right? These are obstacles that these are you consider these things as obstacles when you are with somebody who perhaps you did not decide to, or or somebody who you are reconsidering the decision of getting married to. You get, I was having just to round cap it up. I was having an argument with somebody with regard to cohabiting, right? I was having an argument with somebody with regard to cohabiting. So I was like, sorry about the noise. Sorry about the noise. So I was having an argument with somebody about cohabiting, how cohabiting leads to bad marriages, right? Then I checked the research, I checked the data, and it shows that cohabiting affects marriages in a way that it's those people who decide that they are not going to get married, right? Who is those people who know, right, that they are going to get married, even if they are cohabiting. Those ones that know that they're going to get married while they are cohabiting go on to have successful marriages. It's those that cohabit without any direct intention, right, of actually getting married. For instance, now, a couple or a boyfriend and girlfriend, they might start cohabiting, right, without the intention of getting married, right? Then maybe over the course of time, they decide to, okay, since we're already living together, we share resources, we do this together, we are in a relationship, why we not just marry? We will just marry now since we don't do this already. It's those kind of marriages that fail. Well, there are some types of cohabiting that they already know that they're going to get married, so those ones are more successful according to the data, you know. So it's more or less like a decision, right? So you have to be ready to make that decision and be happy with that decision to get married. If it's something that comes out, if you consider those things like family and the government or any other factors that relate to marriage as obstacles, marriage becomes a problem for you. You have to have the intention first and foremost to be in that institution for you to consider it not as a handcuff in that sense.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alex. From what I understand, the word handcuff, when I hear the word handcuff, what comes to my mind is when you're being charged, maybe a criminal, you're trying to bound a criminal from escaping. When the police catch someone who has probably made an offense, what they do is to first of all arrest the person by placing on the person's wrist so they don't get to escape. So when I saw that, it came to my head like, okay, does it mean that like marriage is a bondage that makes you feel bounded, like you don't have the freedom of movement or the freedom of expression or the freedom of doing things at will because you're in a committed relationship called marriage? So I really want to understand like what makes one feel like when they are married, they are bounded, they are in a bondage, they are led by the smallest outcome of the world. What makes one feel that way? Mm,
Hello.
yes, God, I beg.
Yes, so here is my little submission.
Okay.
From the topic, the smallest handcuff,
Mm-hmm.
relating it to marriage, I want to
Yeah.
say that is extremely wrong to even
Okay.
relate it to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, my reasons. Because from the definition of marriage itself, assuming I don't want to define it, let all of us take the definition of marriage into context.
Okay.
I don't believe, or I strongly believe there is no part where they mention any kind of handcuff, be it smallest or biggest, is not in that definition. So the only reason why maybe some persons or someone will call it smallest handcuff
Mm-hmm.
will be because of the circumstance surrounding that particular marriage precisely. Because just like, let's use this app that we are in now presently. So it's that we see that we can also use the handcuff while discussing this app. I want to believe Inex can be in a house alone and naked, walking around from your parlor to your kitchen, but Inex cannot do that when she's live. So what that means is the app has, not the app actually restricting you. You are restricting yourself because the app has some laws that you must
Abide.
obey. Let me use the word obey, abide to. If you do otherwise, there will be consequence.
And
So
it's
with
all
that, you cannot say the app is the biggest or smallest handcuff. It's just that everywhere we find ourselves, be it in school, there are limits to what we do in school. Even though you go to school, you pay school fees, but that doesn't give you license to do anything you like there. So you see, there are always laws guiding whatsoever we choose to engage ourselves in, of which marriage is a special thing, just like every other thing. So, like I said, what will make somebody call it handcuff is maybe there are excessive, it's human beings that makes this law. Hope you know. God did not come down and tell you, do this, do that. It's we human beings. So, from the human beings, the tradition can be the influence of the laws or even the person itself. Some persons may come from a different background and now choose to hold on to new strict laws that is not even from the parents or from any other person. So, and they hold this. With that, the spouse can say they are in handcuffed because they are married based on what they passed through. So you see, that is the circumstance where it can be used. So, but it is not a term that can be generally used for it. So that is my perspective towards it. Yes, maybe there are certain circumstances that can limit us. We know we human beings, we like to be free to do whatever we want. But just like we have to be free or want to be free, we cannot do anything we want. That's reality. At every point in time, we have to restrict ourselves to certain laws, either in the environment, the government. Then if you are in your house, even your house, I want to believe your landlord too have some laws based on the place where you live, based on even the environment where you find yourself. So you should not now put it that the environment is like the one creating the handcuff, which is not general because it's not everywhere. It's only unique to that particular place. So in this context, it's only unique to that particular marriage that may suffer some setback, or shall I call it some restraint, because handcuff is like tying somebody down, not allowing you to do what you want to do. So it's only when you find yourself in that situation where there are limitations to what you want to do, then you can use this term handcuff. So if we want to talk about what are the possible limitations that may arise that will make some people use this term, it will be more suitable than generalizing it as if it's part of the essence of marriage that you have to be in a handcuff. Some people are even more free when they are not, when they are in marriage, than when they were single, because my pastor used to say that the hardest thing to manage is liberty. Some people think is when you have liberty you have everything, but it's actually the hardest thing to manage when you're free, because you can tend to do things that will even hurt you because of the liberty. Yeah. So some people tend to do the right thing when they are married, because when they are not, they mostly do so many things that they themselves will suffer for it. It's not about somebody else, because you have to be happy first before you make somebody happy. So sometimes they tend to do better for themselves when they have that constraint to do so, than when they are free to make choices out of so many possible things they can do. So that's just my submission for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, God I beg. Like you've really made valid points. The aspect where we say if we talk about what will make one think that marriage or what brought them to have such notion that marriage ring is the smallest handcuff is in the world. But I really would love to hear if you guys have a different opinion or if you have reasons actually why you feel like one could be in a marriage that might be like the smallest handcuff in the world. For me, if you ask me, like you've just mentioned, I'll say yes, really depends on decisions that are being made in the marriage, in the specific marriage between both um, persons involved in it. Because, like I said, it got me thinking. I was imagining a very enjoyable marriage life and maybe one of the spouse feeling like this is the smallest handcuff in the world because that one handcuff made me feel like you are head bounded. You're not free. You're not at liberty to do things as you would want to. So it got me thinking. I really want to know, like, what could possibly make one think of this? Could it be the wrong decisions in their partner? Maybe they make
Yeah,
wrong decisions in choosing a partner.
yeah. Can I add to that again? What I said
Yes,
earlier.
yes, please.
Gotterberg said something very interesting in the text earlier, where he said, not withdrawal, but with limits. And to me, the thing is that yes, each marriage is different, but some marriages may have more limits than the spouse may impose than another marriage. Let's say, for example, that if a brother and sister is on the phone talking for 2, 3 hours or so forth, it's okay because they're siblings. But if you have a man and woman who are just friends, especially if they were friends before the marriage, and you see them talking on the phone 2 to 3 hours, one spouse may not feel too easy about that, because it's someone, of the opposite gender. So that's what I'm saying. There are some relationships where it may be okay, it may be acceptable, and others may say, no, that's not right. You can't be talking to him
So,
or her for that long.
okay.
And then they
So
feel
this,
held back. That's to me, that's where the handcuffs come into play when one spouse feels that why I can't have the liberty to talk to my friend that I've known for so many years, even though it's the opposite gender for 2 hours or so. You know, that's where I feel the high handcuff part comes in because one may feel that it's not a big deal, it's not a big issue to that, but the other one thinks it is. You're spending too much time talking to that individual. You see, on the phone.
okay. Okay, so I want to ask, could this be like a trust issue? Because let's say for one, if I have a friend and my husband happens to know this friend of mine, even if he's of the opposite gender, and he knows that the relationship we have is platonic, do you get? He knows maybe this gender, we've been friends right from childhood, probably where we became friends from our upbringing, the environment, we're neighbors, or we are friends based on work lifestyle. And it's probably my co-worker who is good at supporting and helping me out with the tedious tasks at work. Do you get? And now I am married and my husband happened to know this person, and maybe in one or two events while at home we are on the phone and we are discussing about work related issues. It can take hours, or it could be like maybe life in general. It's just there maybe pouring out his heart to me about his maybe relationship issues or finance issues or family problems. Do you get? But now, my husband is not happy with it because he's obviously an opposite gender. I want to know, could this be as a is it trust issues that will lead
The
to? Yeah, this I decided
the only,
before now.
the only
Sorry,
way a
sorry,
man would
Alex. Before
accept
now,
being on the phone.
okay, go on, Alex.
Okay,
Okay, okay. What I wanted to say was that
okay.
I
Yeah, so
wanted
the
to
only
make
reason
like
why any
We keep jamming, Alex. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, we keep
I
interrupting.
wanted
Sorry, maybe it's the
to
network.
like a
Okay,
presentation
Jamie.
or the but
So the
I felt like let me hear from everyone. Let everyone have a say. Let them have their own contribution so we can at least have one or two different opinions from everyone. So Alex, please you can go on. Sorry for the interruptions.
so the the only reason why any man will accept such a premise or such man was part of the rainbow community. Just it's a way of it's the way things are. Rainbow community, like agege bread.
I understand what you mean. So you
Uh,
feel that's the only
so
reason.
it's
Like if
even
your
if the roles were
family
switched, right?
okay.
Acceptable, exactly.
That what
Alex,
it
don't
Situation
meant
because
by
tell me
rainbow
yeah.
agege
community is
agege
like
again.
gender who are interested in the same gender. Huh? Angel, you said what?
By agege, I was confused.
It means men
Oh,
who are interested in
rainbow community.
women and women who are also interested in their fellow women when it comes to sexuality, like sexual part of it. So it means those who are attracted to the same gender instead of
So
Those who are
so
gay.
the,
Wait, but you say something now.
so a man would not. He said we should just say gay, G-A-Y. He said we should just say G-A-Y.
That's the language I
I don't want to
understand.
We don't know
Gay.
if the
flag the
app
line.
approves it.
Gay and lesbians.
I don't. Yeah. So naturally, it's right. It's it's not right, or it doesn't feel right. Right. It doesn't feel right to just accept your spouse talking at length with somebody else not swinging in that direction. You know, if the person is a straight person, you know, it doesn't feel right. I don't think it's acceptable. Jealousy,
I don't
right?
get you.
You might even know that,
Let's
but
say you,
the
I don't
truth
get
is
what
that
you just said.
with somewhere in our minds, the truth is that right. Let me put it like that. It doesn't feel right because there's always potential to your emotions to transfer the emotions that you should generate into the marriage to somebody else. Difficult where it's a problem when you are sharing your deepest emotions, your time especially, right? Your time especially with the opposite gender, who is and who is straight. You know, it's not right if I put it that way. It's just I don't know. It's not right. You know, it's you're sharing time, you're sharing your emotions. You know, and those things naturally should go to your significant other. You know, but if you constantly take time,
No,
you're in your
the
heart. You know,
question
you're
here
talking about things, you're
now,
gisting, you're laughing, and you're taking time on the phone.
okay? The question here now is the opposite gender. Maybe coming to you to share their problems because they feel like maybe you're their person of solace. You're someone they can go to when they are down. Do you? So this is not one of the
One
couple.
complements another.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
Maybe
not one
find
of the
another
couple going out
solace.
to like maybe share their problems, but this is rather a friend calling one of the couple to share their problem because they feel like they are comfortable. Do you get? They are happy with this person. Like, let's say for instance, now you and I we are friends. When you get married, when you're married, I call you once in a while. I am unmarried for now. And based on the kind of friendship we've had while we're still single, I call you to say, oh, this is what I'm experiencing at work. At this time, I feel so drained. I think I'm going to leave. I need your advice. Tell me what to do. Do you get? So this is because Shato was coming from the angle that one of the couple being on phones with the opposite gender could be one of the reasons why one of them will feel like the marriage is one of the smallest handcuffs in the world. So it's getting me to think like, because I'm married, I can't have friends who I can relate to because they are of the opposite gender. So it's making me think. So that's what I want to like kind of understand. I need clarity on that.
There's a limit to
That's
it. There's a
exactly in
limit
the
to how
terms
you
I
can
was
relate to the
talking.
opposite gender.
There's a limit to it. Okay. Celebrity manager, thank you
Can I
for
say
joining us. It's my first
something?
time seeing you live. Welcome. Joseph, welcome back. Your network dropped you and I couldn't bring you up. I don't know why. Thank you for the art me as well. So, celebrity manager, I would like to hear from you. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live stream. That I don't know you, but maybe after the live, we'll get to know you, introduce ourselves and know you. So please, if you don't mind, if you can give your opinion about this. You've been following the discussion, right? If you have any opinion as regard this, you can let us know, please. Is he here with us? Celebrity manager. Okay. You can unmute your mic to speak with us if it's fine by you, but if it's not, no problem. Oh, I said I love TikTok. I thought it was the one saying that. Okay. Same celebrity manager cannot unmute his mic to speak for now. Angel. Okay. Wait, Valley, do you want to say something?
Yes, I can say something. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, based on a topic,
Yes.
the smallest handcuffs. Okay, like the way I understand the topic is that a relationship, marriage can be like a kind of prison, or it can limit someone's problem based on the definition. That's how I understand it. But in my understanding, like there is a way how life gives us choices. Okay, if you pay attention to life, you're going to realize that everything that we experience in life, it happens in a form of a spectrum, and this spectrum is in form of good and bad, up and down, hot and cold. Everything that we experience happens in between these two spectrums. There is a way how life happens between these two extremes. Okay,
Okay.
good and bad. So it's upon an individual to find a right position within this spectrum where you can stand in everything that you do. When it comes to marriage, you can choose to look at it as a bondage, but also it has all those sides where you can look at as a blessing. It is just your perception and where you choose to stand, because all these spectrums are existing at this moment. So that's where it comes to emotional maturity. People who have not evolved emotionally, they are always going to be um, navigated by their emotions. Everything that happens in their relationship is going to be driven by the emotions and reacting to their environment and circumstances. That is very dangerous. It is dangerous in any form of relationship, not just marriage, but any other relationship. If your life is controlled by circumstances happening outside you, then it's going to be it's going to be so unfortunate, because people have different opinions outside you. People have opinions, and those opinions, if they trigger you, of course, people can tune you. People can predetermine how you're going to behave by those people doing certain things. You shouldn't give an opportunity to other people to make you feel the way they want. So when you're in a relationship, you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision and choose a position where you're going to stand, and move your life without being affected by outside circumstances. Because right now, if I choose to marry someone, at least long ago, there's a time when parents could decide the person you're going to marry. It's not happening today. Today, you choose the person you're going to stay with for the rest of your life. So when you, of course, like I always say, people are not perfect. We are human beings. We have some weaknesses, but you have to make sure that when you choose a person that you're going to stay for the rest of your life, because marriage means you have chosen a partner in life that you're going to stay with at least for the rest of your life. That's what marriage means to me. So if you have chosen a person that you think is the right person for you, then you must also take that person with what comes with that person. Don't choose the pretty face and leave the behaviors, the funny behaviors. If you have chosen the person, you have to take that person as she is or as he is. Don't just choose the part that the person likes, or the part that you love about that person. You have to take the person as he is or she is. Therefore, my advice to people who are in marriage and those who are preparing to get into this institution is to make sure that you determine what happens within you. Don't allow other people, even your spouse, even your wife or your husband, don't react to situations. Don't react to what she's doing. Always get involved in all the activities happening around you, but don't get emotionally involved into those activities, because if you do, you're doomed. There are some people who are emotionally weak and they are going to do things that are not good at all. And if you're this kind of a person who's going to be triggered by anything, then marriage is going to be a hell for you. Because just imagine you're meeting a new person, is not your sister, is not your sibling, and you're about to live the rest of your life with this person. So you're going to hear stories from other people around you and also stories from that very person. So if you're weak, you might end up going crazy. So the most important thing is to manage your emotions, because you have to understand getting married is falling in love. You fall in love with someone and you choose to stay with that person. But you have to understand love is an emotion. Love is an emotion, and emotions happens within us. They don't happen outside us. They happen within us. And something that happens within you, you have full control about it. Now, for example, if I'm in love with let me say, Hinex, we are together. I'm in love with Hinex, and she chooses to maybe act in a way that I don't want, and I choose to react emotionally to that, then that's my problem, because I'm giving an interpretation to what INEX is doing. It is the interpretation that creates emotional reaction within me, but I can choose to give it another form of interpretation. So it is this interpretation and the meanings that we give to things that cause pain to us. But if we could become intentional in the decision that we make, and also understand that these emotional reactions are happening because of the position that we choose in this spectrum of life and the interpretation, and we learn all those things, then there's a way how we can tune our life to the kind of life that we want. That's my submission.
Thank you so much, Wait Valley. Thank you for that submission. Honestly, truly appreciate that. It's for me. It makes a lot of sense. Like when you're going into marriage, I feel like it's an understanding. You've already prepared your mind. That
Inex, can I say something?
okay, yes, please say something.
Okay. I want to talk about what we were talking about before with Swadi gave his own opinion about if you stay long, does that mean you shouldn't have opposite gender friends? If you have someone that you talk with and you stay long in the phone, why is it going to be a problem? That is just life. Let's leave marriage aside. Even in a normal relationship, no one will be cool with your partner having somebody he talks to 2 to 3 hours on the phone. Which one are they talk? That is just life. And that is just being real. So it has nothing to do with marriage, let alone marriage. That is why they say take your time to actually pick that person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Some people will say, Shalto is laughing. It's the truth. Some people will say,
That's very true.
wait. Some people will say, make sure whoever you are getting married to becomes not just your lover, but your best friend too. That way you don't end up having a bestie and you have someone in the house when you feel like talking. You are running outside to find your bestie. You see? So don't just be getting married to someone because he's sexy and loving. And then when you want to have a heart-to-heart conversation, you are going outside looking for that your bestie that he won't, no, he's not someone you talk to. That's it won't work. It won't work. That's just my opinion. So let's leave marriage aside. Is it will happen in a relationship? Is normal. Anyone would feel somehow. The jealousy will come in. Unless you don't love the person, that's when you won't care. But if it is someone you claim to love and spend time with, you would be triggered to ask what you guys are discussing. All right. It has nothing to do with trust issues. It's not trust issues. It's just, how do I put it? It's just a feeling.
They could be planning to finish you.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay. I want to ask a question. You said
Yeah.
if she has a okay, Shato, you want to say something?
I just wanted to add my conclusion. If you want to go first, if you let me go first, I'll go. I just wanted to say one last
Please
thing
go
about
ahead.
this.
Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. This is the way I look at it. Okay. Also, communication is very essential before a marriage, and these are one of the things that you have to discuss. Okay. And I'm saying that too because you do have some people out there in society where the people who they communicate or interact with the most is of the opposite gender. Okay. So you have to ask your partner, how do they feel about going into this marriage if I do speak to such and such of the opposite gender? Because that's the person who I've always spoken to the most and confide with about many, many things without it being a thing with a trust issue or jealousy there. That's what I'm saying. Because if these things are not discussed, just look at it this way. Okay, if I'm a man that all I have is female friends who I speak to and everything, and now in this marriage I have to cut this off. Now I can't speak to her no more, hardly ever. Then she gets on the phone and talk to all her lady friends, and I'm just left with no one to speak to because I've always had females of the people of the opposite gender, whom I speak to. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'd have to discuss to see, okay, where will I stand now with my spouse as far as that goes? And if you think there's going to be a problem with that, then just don't go into the marriage because you're going to have a spouse that's not going to be understanding of that, and it's going to bring up too much conflict, trust issues, jealousy, and everything. So that's why these things definitely have to be discussed prior to the marriage, so that you don't feel that you're being held back in handcuffs, from that wedding ring.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. What I wanted to say, I've almost lost it. What Angel was saying about having a discussion with a friend for more than 3 hours, like waiting at the discuss. It's really funny. But I would like to poke you furthermore. I want to give an instance whereby, like I mentioned, the other part is not yet married. Do you get? But you were married, and before you got married, you were best of friends. And I feel like a jealous partner will be jealous regardless who you're speaking to, whether it's the opposite gender or the same gender. They will still be jealous. If they don't want you to be on the phone with other people and all, they still will be. Do you get? So I'm trying to ask now, what would make one feel like some level of distrust on their partner to the extent that they start monitoring the kind of conversations they have with others or how many hours they spend conversing with others. Some don't even want their spouses to go out. They limit them. Like when I came online on TikTok this afternoon, I read a post because I was pushed from another social media platform to go search for that post actually. It's a lady who got married to a man. And in just the first few months of the marriage, she's already experiencing difficulty in the marriage. She's already experiencing the man being very controlling, like he's an authoritative person, giving her directions what to do, what not to do, down from where to get their wedding items from, asking her to wait on the sisters, that's the groom sisters, to make decisions for their wedding and all. Reading all of that, and I was just thinking, oh my, what would make you see someone you like, and you say to yourself, I like this person, I want to marry them, and at the end you marry them, you try to make maybe life unbearable for them, or you start to want to have control over them. Do you get? So I want to understand. Like, I don't know, Angel, if you've seen that post. I forgot, I got carried away. I would have even shared it with you. So we can have a discussion on it furthermore, maybe even on your box. Like, when you were going for this lady, you actually ask specific persons to intercede on your behalf to come plead with you for this lady to accept your proposal and all. And after acceptance, you turn otherwise. Like, I want to know what really gets there. Or for women, this could also happen to men. At a point, maybe a man meets you and you profess your undying love for him and all of that. You were treating him very well. And maybe 3 to 4 months into the marriage, or 1 month, 1 year down the line, you're already getting fed up. Like, I want to know, at what stage, at what point do you get like, I'm tired of seeing this person, or I want to have a change in partner and all of that. Like, I want to know what leads to that, because I feel like this is what makes us feel tired, and at the end we conclude that marriage is kind of like a bondage and the smallest handcuff in the world. So I want to really know, what are the factors that makes one really very tired or feel disgusted by the partner of their choice. Joseph, if you're in a very sound environment where you can speak, you can go on to unmute your mic, because yeah, you say insecurities. Because I, for one, I believe that. So I said it, I mentioned it. If I'm on the phone and I trust my partner, whether it's on the phone 3-5 hours with someone, I don't care, as long as I know that whatever discussion he's having is maybe to better himself or that other person, than not to do with
But
her
you see,
mind.
may I say something?
Yes, please.
Yes, but you see, if you pay attention, you're going to realize that relationship, most of the relationships, especially marriage, the leading factor is attention. Attention is a key, and usually when the relationship is new, attention is always available. And I remember even the other time when I made a presentation, I talked about it. Your attention is already, like, you're always operating from your conscious mind. You're attentive, you're paying attention to this person, because you're not truly know this person. You're trying to learn as much as possible about this person. And this is actually, we experience this every day. I don't know if it has ever happened to you, where you go and try to open up a conversation with someone that probably you're meeting for the very first time. The conversation cannot flow naturally. Why? Because you don't know exactly what to talk about. You don't know what turns about this person, what turns on, turns off, So you have to ask some few questions, and until you get the point where you create vibrational resonance, where you resonate vibrationally. But the moment the other person opens up, then you get deep into that person's mind. Like your subconscious mind starts scanning that person. Then you see that your attitude changes, because now you know this person. You can even predetermine what he's going to say, you know everything about. So the moment you learn about this person, you default. You stop paying attention. Okay, you default to your subconscious mind, because like I always say that we pay attention less than 2% on a daily basis. We don't pay much attention in our life, and we think we do because we don't know. But our subconscious mind learns our life, and our subconscious mind, we are not the ones operating our subconscious mind. Our environment is operating our subconscious mind. Our information in our subconscious mind is the information we get from environment. We learn from our
His network.
Yes, that was what I was asking. Is it my
It's his
network?
parents.
network. No,
We
it's
learn
his network.
from our friends. We learn from school, where that information
Okay, with valid network is off for
that we
now,
get from
but
other
I get
people.
what he's saying. Do you get like, he's talking about,
It is
with valid,
what
if you can
is.
hear us, we are losing you at some point. There's a delay in your network and it's breaking, so we can't hear you. So if you can hear us, maybe you'll be muted for now. Okay, so aside with Valley, does anyone else have another submission?
In our subconscious mind, and
I know you must include subconscious. I know he will include subconscious.
every time
He's a subconscious person.
we default into the sub.
Okay. 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 Thank you all so much. Like with Valley mentioned, he talked about
Say
emotion.
something next.
Conscious
Okay.
mind.
But we don't know if
Mr.
which value.
Subconscious mind is still going on and on and on. Just keep going on. When it comes in and breaks in, we'll pick up from there. Please go on.
Okay. About what you asked, when do you get to that point and you feel like
Yeah.
is
Can you
let me
hear
tell
me?
you straight up, is see finish that's enter it.
Yes, your network
Can you
was
hear me?
breaking, but we can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you. Your network is bad, but we can hear you now. Maybe I'll mute him for now and let him know in the
Can you
comment
hear me,
section.
guys?
Yes, we can hear you, but with value, we want you to
Guys,
hold on for now so we can get Angel's submission, please. Okay, thank you.
so I go
Angel,
on.
please. Uh, is your network okay now? Sorry, I muted you. Oh my goodness. You can turn on your mic with Valley if your network is okay now.
Okay. So I was talking about. I was responding to the question you asked here. That the point when at what point do people usually withdraw from the feeling, from that love, that natural love that people usually start with
Yeah,
when the relationship is new.
yeah,
Yeah, so usually it
yes,
happens because sometimes people, of course, people have different behaviors. People have different, behaviors, but those behaviors are usually hidden in the beginning of a relationship. People cannot, if a person is has, for example, bad manners, cannot reveal those bad manners on the first date. it cannot happen.
Okay.
Why? Because this person is operating from his or her conscious mind, is being conscious, is being present. That's what people call being in a present moment. Okay, so they operate from that position, but every time they get used to you, their true behaviors shows up. So now when the true behaviors shows up, if those behaviors that are in her or his subconscious mind are bad, of course, this person is going to start reacting to those behaviors, not to your conscious mind, but your subconscious behaviors. So if those behaviors are bad, of course, it's going to sabotage your relationship. It's going to create a collusion between, because now you're looking at this person that you thought is the most sweet person, but now all of a sudden the person is changing. Many people ask themselves different questions. They say, my God, is this the person I was with the last week? It seems like he's so different now. Yes, he's the same person, only that this person has two different behaviors, the conscious behaviors and the subconscious behaviors. At first, he was operating from his or her conscious awareness. After understanding who you are, like getting used, becoming comfortable around you, he switched, he started defaulting to his subconscious mind. And you have to remember, the subconscious mind is not him, is the environment where he grew up. So the behaviors of his father, the behaviors of his uncle, the behaviors of his peers come into play and start operating a relationship. And yet this new partner is not used to that kind of behaviors. I don't know if you people get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I get you. So you feel like what causes some of this withdrawal from, like, maybe from loving the person that very much when you just started courting into dating and then marriage is due to our environmental factor, like the behaviors we pick from either our families, our siblings, our parents, or our environment is what affects us eventually in the course of the relationship. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
With
Yes,
okay.
exactly. And if you pay attention, if you really pay attention, you're going to realize that most of the people, especially people who have been affected with the trauma, with very strong traumas when they're still young, they may not, for example, me, myself, I remember there's a time when I had, people could complain about me that I was, I had too much hunger, I could easily get annoyed, but I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that. I said that, but what's wrong with these people? Why are they complaining that I think I'm the most, nice person, but people think I'm, I easily get hungry. But
Did we lose you again? I think we lost him again. Moni, are you agreeing
I,
to people saying that to get angry easily?
until I realized that you cannot
Oh, we are losing with Valley.
know.
Okay,
Okay.
nice to meet you. Angel, please go on with your submission.
Thank you, Witzvali. So what I was saying was, from my own opinion, anyways, see finish, enter the matter. When you stayed so long with someone
Yeah.
and you feel you know everything about this person, you now feel relaxed. You forget what you guys were doing. Marriage is like is where two people are making it work. Two imperfect people
Mm-hmm.
are trying to build a perfect home for
Okay.
themselves.
Okay.
So money be coming down. Okay, so when no one is putting in the work, that's where there's a problem. Or when one person is putting in the work and the other one is slacking, that's where there's a problem.
Okay.
I've heard some people say you will see a guy who always checks on his woman, calls or texts or chat. This is the usual thing you people do. and then you get married and all that stopped. And when you ask the guy, he'll be like, if you want catch fish, you use bait. When you don't catch them, do you still give them baits? Do you still give them food? They're already there, you see.
Yeah.
So some people have that mindset. So when they finally get what they want, they now relax and nothing is happening. No more spark. Fire has turned off. So
But
those are the
you
things
see,
that people should actually
Linda,
put. Wait, now it's valley. Wait, see. Those are the things that you should actually put in place. Two people must be doing the work.
Okay.
You shouldn't leave it for one person and feel that the man is the head of the house, so he should be the one doing all the work. Or you put it that the woman is now the one that should be doing all the work. You'll hear people say a woman is the one that keeps the home.
Yeah. I've heard things like that.
Yes, putting that is like putting everything or the burden on the woman. Meanwhile, there were two people that got married. So that is why I say before you get married, you should, like Shalto said, communication is key.
Okay.
The communication must be there and in
Must.
all levels.
Okay,
Fire have
continue.
quench. Yes, the communication must be there and in all levels. Okay. You shouldn't be with someone that there are some things you decide you can't talk to the person about. I don't know about that, but I can't do that. That there are some things I feel, no, I can't talk to this person about it. If I can talk to my friend, of course I can talk to you about it. Okay. And another thing I wanted to say is people saying that if you are giving this example of you said something about a jealous lover will always be a jealous lover. Everyone has jealousy in them. When somebody is extremely jealous is where you now overdo it. Like you see me talking to even my own gender and you get upset. That's when somebody is overdoing it. But everyone has that jealousy, tiny bit jealousy in them. You can ask question, doesn't mean you have to act on it. Do you get? We have 24 hours. You work all day and then you come back. You said newly wedded couple, let's say for 4 months, right? So let's assume there are no kids yet. So you work for the all day and you come back. And like Wiz Valley said, attention. You have over 5 hours on the phone. What's left for me? When before you know it's night and we're going to bed.
God, I beg, I can no longer respond to your messages because
That
I
is
just
what.
found. Yeah, I wish I can pin it. Say love who you marry and not marry who you love. A big
So
Continue,
yeah,
Angel, please. So
I
there's
am so jealous. I
because
will surgically attach a GPS. You see,
wow,
so and that's
wow,
just the truth. Like
wow.
I'm saying 3 hours. Inex is pushing to 5 hours. 5 hours is too long that you are discussing with someone. Unless it's a situation where you have this family problem and you felt like discussing it with my spouse and we're just there having nothing to do and we're sitting down listening to you talk and it's on speaker and you're just discussing all your problem. That we are listening to it. But you telling me that he has 5 hours to himself. What's remaining in 24 hours? Someone that works all day. What's remaining in 24 hours? No, it won't work. That's just reality. Unless it's at work, the person calls and I'm not there. And the person calls at work. It's a different case. And there's no way he will come back. I'll now be asking him, so who called or who didn't call? I no, there's no. But being at home, the time is not too much that you have that kind of time. So that is for couples who, newly wedded couples. Then let alone when kids enter, you see. That's when 24 hours is never enough. Well, let's leave that aside. So what I'm saying is, yes, it happened to anyone. It doesn't have to be. It's only people that who are over jealous that would take it to your gender to gender is talking and then they're having issue with it. But normally everyone has it in them. there's no way you won't ask question. You will ask question, not like you are having trust issue, but you're just asking to know. Okay, we got to 40K. Yay. Okay, sorry, which value you wanted to say something?
With valid, please go
Yes,
on.
I wanted to respond like to what you said about communication. Yes, communication is very important. There is no question about that. But we have to truly understand that usually people don't mean what they say. Usually people say things, but what you do is what defines you, not what you say. In most cases, you just look at people. They have a lot of ideas, but most of those ideas, they actually don't put it into practice. So if you want to know someone, don't listen to what they say, but see what they do. Because what they say usually don't reflect in what? In their life. Another thing that we have to truly understand, because now we are talking about reality, okay? Unless you want fiction, there's something that you can talk about. But if it's reality, we have to look at things the way they happen, okay? When it comes to, yes, when you go into marriage or in a relationship, there is a lot of emotions involved. There is no way you can avoid emotional reactions when you're in what? In a relationship, especially marriage, okay? When you're in love with someone, jealousy will always erupt. Those funny emotions will always show up. But it's extremely important when you're going into this kind of relationships. You have to at least have some mastery about your emotions, because if you don't do that, it's going to be extremely difficult for you. It's going to be extremely difficult for you if you don't master your emotions. I think it's the most important thing in marriage is to, yes, you have to understand the other person. You have to make sure you do things that are not going to cause reactions and emotional eruption to your partner. But for your sake, you as an individual in a relationship, I don't know the other person, but you, every time you go into this relationship, make sure that you find ways of not getting so much attached to the other person. Yes, you love the other person. You get engaged in every activity happening at home and whatever that is happening, but you have to regulate the attachment, the emotional attachment that you have toward that person. Because if you don't do that, you're going to get a lot of wounds on your heart. I'm telling you, it's extremely important. Emotional attachment is the problem that actually breaks down relationships. It is emotional attachment, not the other person, but the way you react. Just imagine now, for example, I make a call, a conversation. Actually, and what Angel is saying is true. It happens to very many people. I had, for example, a friend of mine, and this friend of mine was actually my brother's girlfriend. Okay, I think she felt so comfortable with me. We could make long calls for a longer period of time. We talk and talk and talk. She was very nice. But then they reached a point. They broke up with my brother. Then we kept on communicating and communicating. Then one day she told me, okay, like we were making that, like she got married to another person, but we were still friends, so we could communicate. We could talk for hours on phone. And she was married. And then after a period of time, she said, let me first go and check on my man. He said this. I said, are you okay? You mean we were talking on phone and your man was there? He said, yeah, he has no problem with it. I said, are you sure? I said, let me tell you. I told this girl that let me tell you something. That guy, if he's a normal person, he doesn't love you. If at all, because me, I'm a man, I'm telling you. If I have a conversation with a girl for a longer period of time, if, for example, my girlfriend makes a conversation for a very long period of time, and I'm there, I'm seeing them talking, then there is something wrong with me. I must have some emotional reaction. The girl tried so much to convince me that, no, this guy is different. What? I said, okay, that's good for you. Do you know what happened? After some few After some few what? Some few months, I remember I had a party at my place of work. So I had no one to go with. So she told me to go and pick her up and we go together. Then she gave me the conversation. She told me that she got pregnant and the guy denied the pregnancy. And she was planning to abort the guy. I said, you see, I told you at first that that guy doesn't love you. Because you see, for ordinary people, it is going to happen like that. But it's extremely important to always manage your emotional reactions, but also to understand the people you're going into marriage with or into relationship, those deeper relationships. So, Angel, I can understand where you're coming from. I have experienced that.
Okay, and thank you so much, Reed Valley. God, I beg again, I cannot tag you. I don't know why. I can't tag you in the comment section. So, yes, depend on the conversation actually, because I, for one, I don't think I'll have an issue if my partner is on but like Angel said, yes, you should be on speaker where I get to hear and know what you're actually conversing on, not like you're off speaker and you're talking and you're all there mushy, smiling. Wahala go there. I won't lie, I'll start feeling some type of way you get, but if it's a conversation I can hear and understand what you guys are talking about, I don't think I'll have a problem with that. And then it doesn't have to be frequent with that same person. Do you get? Maybe the person calls once in a while. Okay, welcome back. And I will really understand. So, well, it's very nice. It's been nice talking to you all and have what should be your thoughts. In expecting you need to check moderator settings. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Angel, you can help me check that. I can't tell him. I thought I was able to tell him.
Check it for what? You want to pin comments?
I don't know. Join
What do you want to
some.
do?
I don't even know what to add him here on because I can't tag God abeg in the comment section. Like I cannot reply to his messages. So Alex is suggesting I check moderator settings and I don't know. We can't quote him, yes, on the live. I don't know. Maybe it's the way my name is. It's when you're there and don't know the name of the discussion. Yes. When you're there and you don't know what they are talking about and they are on the phone, all mushy, having like serious conversation for hours, it can really cause reason to trust. Do you get? So what I wanted to ask again, I'm sorry I got carried away and distracted. But I think we'll leave that as a topic for another day. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate um, your contributions and all. Thank you. We got up to 48 stabs. That's so nice. Thank you. It's happening to everyone. Beke, what's happening to everyone?
Can't tag God, I beg.
Okay, and Joseph, you're on the box now. I don't know if you have anything to say because you were very engaging on the comment section. So I don't know. If you have anything to say, you can unmute.
I
I
have like
want
for
to
people
ask
when
Shout
use
a
special
question.
Definitely.
special
Before what
character
I
to
was
write
trying
their
to say
name.
will come back. I lost it, but
Please,
I think it will come back.
I want to ask Shout a question. Shouter
Okay.
said something in the comment. He said it depends on what they were talking about, right? So let's imagine they were just checking on each other. Your wife and her friend, her male friend, they're just checking on each other and God knows what. Like it's just cordial relationship, no strings attached. But for 5 hours and it's an everyday thing, you say you won't have problem with it because you guys are, you trust this person.
Okay.
Please, did you hear what I said, or was it
Well,
my network?
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I
I,
heard you.
I, I heard you. I heard you, Angel. You know, the thing is, this is the way I
The
look at it
comment
point
wasn't
blank.
posted because of the live setting.
Okay, this is the way I look at it point blank. Okay, I can't get into a marriage with a woman knowing that I don't have enough trust issues with her. whether it's to be unfaithful or end up doing something unethical. If that's going to be the case, I don't need to marry her. I like to know that the woman I marry, no matter who she's talking to, where she goes to, with friends or coworkers or whatever, I don't need to be snooping down behind her or finding out where she is to make sure she's not doing something she's not supposed to. Or if she's on the phone, I sneak up by her, crawling by her like a snake, so I can hear the whole conversations and so forth. No, no, marriage shouldn't be like that. If you trust that person enough, if you feel that you have to be doing that, then there's trust issues, and that's the way I look at it. So depending on that conversation, Angel, I don't have a problem with it. Now, if you're talking about sex and so forth, there's a problem with that. If you're talking about the job or promotion or something that needs to be done to improve yourself and so forth, yes, it's okay. So it depends on the content of the conversation or the topic, and of course, it's not every day. Once a month, every other month and so forth. Yeah, but not every day for 5 hours a day. No, that won't be
Exactly
that
what
won't be
I'm saying.
appropriate.
That's
Yes,
exactly. You see, so
yes, it won't be
even with
appropriate
so
to do
what
it
you are
every day.
saying now is even with depending on the topic or not, it can be every day for that long.
No, 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 it can't be every day. No,
Exactly.
no, because if it's every day, that means you have more of a comfort level speaking to somebody else about whatever issues or problems you have going on than your own spouse, and you don't feel comfortable with them. And there's something wrong with that. You should be able to speak to your spouse, about just about anything out there, or you can relate to them with whatever is going on, instead of saying, I hate to speak to my husband or wife about that. I hate it with a passion. Let me speak to my good old friend there. And that's where the handcuffs issue may come into play there, because it's like, no, you can't be talking to him for so long. Hang up the phone, or you can't be talking to her for so long. Hang up the phone, please. That's not right. You see, you shouldn't have to be getting into this, when you're in a marriage, knowing that you have enough trust issue with your spouse that you shouldn't be thinking of the worst happening from that conversation. And that's my
That's the
take on
point.
that.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make, because when you say depends on the topic, doesn't mean is anyone will be okay with it that every single day this same particular friend will call, whether it's just to check on you or just to, it can be every single day. No one, like Waits Valley
No,
said, that actually loves
no,
you
no,
would be okay with it,
no,
regardless
no.
of
It
the
won't be
topic.
appropriate. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
that won't be appropriate. Yes, it would not be appropriate. No. Yeah, even if it's someone of the same gender of you, it still won't be appropriate. Never more, the opposite gender. Every single day, 5 hours a day? No.
Exactly, that's what I was saying anyway. So, and that's what brings me back to what God Abeg said when he said, when you're on TikTok, they have rules. No matter how free you want to be, there are some things you can't do. It's the same thing when you're in a marriage. There are rules. There are things you have to do on your own without anyone telling you. You know the things that you should do and the things you shouldn't do,
Okay.
because when you have that kind of time and say you is your friend, you was my friend before I got married, so I don't see why anything should, and then you start bringing in such, allowing such in your home of every day, like Chato said, if it's once in a month or one, we just call. I have friends that I do that with. Once in a month, when she calls me, forget it, that conversation will not end on that day. It will be a very long conversation because we want to catch up and talk about everything we have missed and all that. So we know I have people like that, but every day for hours, no,
No, no,
I
that's
won't
not
even, I don't
appropriate.
even have such time, and it's not appropriate. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. So we're in agreement with
Okay.
that.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay.
It is a
Thank you
full
so
time job,
much,
gotta admit.
everyone. That one a big problem for you.
That's even the
I said,
bigger
what's
problem when people follow their daddy Gio instead of their husband. That's a bigger problem.
Is she also a pastor in the church?
Papa,
Or is she the
Papa,
one who give
Papa,
the offering?
Papa?
If not be you the old offering, you know get for church. I beg. Okay, thank you all so much. God I beg said something in the comment section. Like he knew what was in my mind because I was thinking about I had two topics to work on this week. So it's the men's month actually, not even just a week. So I wanted us to talk about men's mental health. I can tag you on the next live. Okay. So I thought of it. I was like, okay, we'll pick a topic to discuss on men's mental health. How do you think they can like prioritize their mental health? How do you think they can improve on it? And then subsequently, the topic rather that I wanted us to discuss on is what should one marry for? Should you marry for love? Or you should marry because you feel is the right thing for you to do, or it's the right time for you to go ahead to marry. So that's what I wanted us to discuss. So when I saw God Abeg comment where he said, "Don't marry who you love, and marry who you love," right, and not marry who loves you. I'm trying to get that comment again, but
Love
excuse me,
who
it
you
actually picked.
marry. Don't marry who you love.
Love who you marry and don't marry who you love. Do you get? So it really got me, and I'm like, big one. Oh. How do you love who you marry and not marry who you love? So, but we'll break it down definitely. So,
Yeah, yeah.
coming week, we'll be talking about the mental health in general, but we'll focus more on the men's mental health also since it's the month for the men. Let's get to celebrate it because they complain a lot that they don't get to be celebrated as often as women are celebrated, or they don't get to be shown attention and all as women get to be shown. So with that,
Very
we'll
true.
be able. Chef Mellard, welcome in. So with that, we'll focus on it. Shato, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just saying very true about men don't get that much attention. Yes.
That much attention. Okay. Next week, you guys will have all the attention. Come and tell us how we should show you more attention. Maybe we are not doing the right thing. We are not. That's why we are having a lot of back and forth in our
Don't
relationships. Yes. What did you say,
you?
Alex? What did you say?
2 minutes.
I
A
didn't hear
whole
you,
1 hour,
Alex.
1 hour plus for us. I said a whole 1 hour plus for us to
What?
talk about our
Wow.
mental health.
The whole one
Yeah, this
hour plus. You
network.
people should come and tell us how we can treat you right
I
so
said a
that we
whole
can
1 hour
have
plus
peace.
for us to talk about our mental health. Oh.
Yes. And tell us how we can treat you
Eh?
right. So we'll know what we are not doing right, what we're doing wrong. Welcome in, Ken. Thank you
Don't
for
worry.
that. Thank you, Shouto. Thank you. Thank you.
I
So,
got you. I got you. I got
okay,
you.
so I don't know if we should go ahead with that.
God I beg,
If
God
you
I
all
simple though.
agree, if we should go ahead with the men's mental health, but definitely I would like for us to go with
Let's
this
go
since we are
ahead.
still in the month
Yeah.
of appreciating the men and maybe
By the
thank
power conferred on
God
me
and the men for
by my nether regions.
by your words. Confided in you by your words.
By my nether regions,
So
aka the
thank you so much.
GBOLA. By my GBOLA.
Oh, Chineke, thank God any other person cannot understand this. Thank you, Sweet Valley. Angel, do you understand that word? Angel.
Is it
Angel.
his Bola? Is that what he's talking
Bola.
about? He's a very crazy person. This Alex, eh?
Whoa,
Alex,
don't say that on TT. Thank you. Thank you.
Alex, you were Alex. How did mental health
Shato.
get to that part? Now. How did mental
Is
health get?
it is by natural
That
I
is
said
when
by
you
the
talk
power
very
conferred
well.
on me, every man has it now. So naturally it's a component of every man.
Oh God.
May God
Eh.
help.
It is well with you. I'm telling you, it's
Thank
well
God
with you,
money,
Alex.
Shato, and Valley cannot understand.
Who said money knows what Bola
Becky, do you
is?
understand what he said? I
Amen.
hope you don't understand.
Amen. Amen.
Money know what
Amen.
Bola is. Wow.
Yes.
It's a serious issue. She said she doesn't
You
know.
don't know?
Good thing you don't know money.
Hey.
I
Don't
don't
worry.
know. I don't
Becky said
know.
you don't know.
Hey.
Me too, don't know.
Better.
Money, I did not quote you right.
Okay, don't know. If you don't know, don't know. It's good you don't know at all.
Let's
Very
not
nice.
Thank you,
spoil mo-
shout out. Money, don't worry. I'm going to tell
Thank
you. Don't
you,
No.
mind them.
guys. Thank
I'm
you
going to tell
so
you.
much. We didn't just that one. They didn't teach you. Don't worry. Angel said she will tell you. So thank you. Next week we'll meet again and we'll be talking about mental health in general, but focusing more on our men to see and know how more we can help them to prioritize their mental health, and probably they can also help us to know how to help them prioritize their mental health and how to help them do better and be better in our society. So
And
with
tell us
that, I say
and
thank
tell us what they really
you.
want in this life.
Exactly. What you guys really like, I'm so happy. I'm excited. I'm waiting for you all, and I want to see you all
Yes.
speaking come
Wait,
Thursday. I want you all
wait,
to tell me because now we're
wait,
making the platform for you.
wait till you hear what I have to say about that one.
Waiting. We can't wait, safe.
So, I really
Let's even start now. Let's start now.
no, we don't
No,
have
no,
time
no,
now.
no, 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 Alex.
So next week, go and think about it because if we start now, it will be a rush.
Okay,
Go
okay,
and
okay,
think
okay.
and make sure you're giving us the right thing, not tomorrow when we ask you, you give us a different thing again. So go and think about what you really want in this life as a
Bring
man.
my book. Let's jot it and have it once and for all. If anybody
I
wants
have
any other thing apart from that, and I would deal with the person.
Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate your
Alex,
presence. Today I'm not sharing the live to anyone. Everyone should come in on their own will. So it will not be out of compulsion, but out of genuinely wanting to learn and hear from the topic. And I appreciate the turnout. You all really did amazing. Well, surprised me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I love
very
you.
nice topic.
Thank
Very
you.
nice topic. Wherever you picked it out from, a very nice topic.
I picked it up from a very nice friend, a very good friend.
Hello, with Valley.
Thank you all so much. All right,
My
okay,
eyes
with
is
Valley
blue.
saying hi. Can you see that? Yeah. So, thank you guys. We need to run along to Angel's Live now. I don't know why I'm still here. It's 1 minute. Thank you. Catch you up. Please, everyone, turn on your microphone and say bye bye. Bye bye, Moni.
Bye
Thank you.
bye, NX. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
next.
Alex. Bye.
Shadow.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye,
everyone.
Becky.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Angel. Bye, with Valley. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.